Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. First up are announcements. And first announcement is about the election. So ballots are being dropped off in the mail starting today. So please vote and be sure to sign your green envelope. Otherwise you'll be called, and I don't want to say harassed, but you'll definitely be called quite a few times. There are 3 candidates for 2 spots. There is cumulative voting, and we'll have a video about all that on the website. If not tomorrow, then early next week. Also, CC&Rs, we're still looking for the CC&R ballots to come back. We're at about 70%, but we want to get to 80 before we open those. So we need about 170 more before we can do that. Actually, 169 because we had one dropped off just now. Holiday, it's Happy Pie Day. So I have from good authority that if you have pie today, the calories don't count. It's just Pie Day. And then my monthly announcement to slow down and stop at the stop signs. The police are in here to enforce the vehicle code on that. We've had several residents and vendors that have tickets. And just because we're behind the gate, we still have laws and rules that must be followed and abided by. So please keep your speed to the speed limit, which is 30 on the Four Seasons Circle, 25 on the side streets, and 15 miles an hour in the lodge. And stop signs being stopped, not slowed down. Next on the agenda is homeowner input. As a reminder, it's limited to 3 minutes per homeowner, and only 1 request to speak form may be submitted per homeowner. There will be no sharing or passing of time to another person. Homeowner input may be held for a maximum period of 30 minutes before the board meeting begins to allow the board to proceed with the business portion of the meeting. This portion of the meeting is limited to board participation only. Residents are welcome and encouraged to stay for the full meeting to witness the business of the corporation taking place by your governing agents. And the first speaker slip is Barbara Miller. Actually, the only speaker slip.
Barbara Miller, 1549 Bloomington Park. And I wanted to address the putting green proposal. The contact person representing the putting green group requested a change in their guideline. No guest under the age of 18 may use the putting green. 2, no age restriction for a guest to use putting green when accompanied by a resident. My hope is that the board will honor the resident responses to the second guideline change in this proposal and maintain existing guidelines. No guests under the age of 18 may use the putting green. So there were 2 issues. One was chipping, which was a new word that we added, and that's fine. But I am proposing that with the resident responses, it was overwhelming that they do not want children under the age of 18 using the putting green.
Thank you, Barbara. Let's see. And with no other speaker slips, we'll move on to the agenda. Next up is the consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to make a single motion to approve all included items. If for a particular reason an item needs to be discussed or pulled from the consent calendar, then a call to remove that item should be made by a board member. In the consent calendar are the minutes from February 7th and February 25th, the implementation of the CD investment plan, approval of a lien on account number BE-6310-0098-01, startup bonds and riders for account number 413-83442 for phase 175, track 3396-13, and quite a few different facility use request forms. With that, there'd be a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next Next on the agenda is the report of executive session, which took place this morning, starting at 8 a.m. We had 22 delinquency notices, all but 3 have paid in full. The board approved a foreclosure on APN account 428-161-011-1. Renew the Allied Universal contract. Review legal issues and personnel. Next on the agenda are the committee reports. First up is the ad hoc off-leash area.
Good afternoon, board members, management team, friends and neighbors. Quick report today. We have been in a gas company delay that we are working through, but I did want to say that it might not look like anything is happening, but I wanted to give a shout out to the community planning and transition team and the board and First Service Residential, and really especially to Willis Fagan, our architectural consultant that works with planning and transition. They have been incredibly responsive, participatory, and what have you in this process. So anybody kind of thinks nothing's happening, it isn't all just with this committee. As far as the rules go, there are people out there really working hard on this and trying to get it sorted out. So big shout out and big thank you, Sapphire, Eric, board, CPT, thank you very much. We're looking right now at defining a very strong enforcement process with a suite of rules that everyone had an opportunity to review and that we put together. And we're continuing to create the scripting materials for the seminar that will be required for users. Our next meeting is March 25th, 2019, of course, at 2 o'clock in RCN 3. Everyone's welcome. Come see what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. Next up is the ad hoc Exhibit F committee.
We are anticipating the board's vote today to accept Exhibit F proposal and management to enforce Exhibit F.
Thank you, Barbara. Next up is the architecture committee.
Hi, my name is Karen Proctor, and I'm at 1558 Williamson Park.
Can't hear you.
My name is Karen Proctor, and I'm at 1558 Williamson Park. We have one new committee member. Her name is Laurie Reese, and we're so happy to have her. As far as our business in February, it was very slow. We only had 10 new applications, 29 addendums, and 9 Exhibit C. We had 25 violations. One is going to be monitored, and we have 5 invites, and the remainders are just courtesy notices. That's it. Thank you.
Has Lori had enough meetings to be voted on yet?
Yes. Steve? Last section, Steve mentioned.
We need a motion to approve Lori Reese.
I'll make a motion to approve Lori Reese, the architectural committee.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve Lori Reese on the committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Next is the communication board.
Excuse me. Hi, I am Lori Larson, and I have the good fortune of being the chair of the communications board, which I just love. It is about the same thing as it was last month and the month before. We are steadily moving forward. We still have 8 members, and now we have 5 new interested members who are going through the process of becoming part of the communications board. Last month I got up here and talked about taking photos of your spring garden to submit to our publisher. However, after looking at my spring garden, I realized I was about a month or 2 ahead. So if your garden is starting to look good now, or even next month, start taking pictures, send them in, just like you can for the pet parade. You can send in pictures of your pets, now you can send in pictures of your gardens. And we would love to publish them in the weeks. And on The interviews for the Board of Directors candidates are in the breeze, and they are also on the website, so please take advantage of being able to see what your candidates are thinking, and then, of course, vote. We're going to be starting a contest shortly to encourage people to use the website, so keep your eyes open because there's going to be a little treasure hunt and you can win some fabulous prizes. And we are continuing work on what we're calling the year in review. The board has asked us to come up with a package, I miss my brain. Anyway, an album, let's put it that way, of what's been going on around here over the last year, and even actually what's been going on since the inception of the HOA. So we're working on that. And again, we have 2 meetings a month. Our planning meeting is always on the first Wednesday of every month at 10 o'clock, and our proofing meeting is on the 10th of each month at 10 a.m. And thank you. You're welcome to come and join us.
Thank you, Lori. Next is the Community Planning and Transition Committee.
Good afternoon. Colin Taylor, Chair of the CP&T. The dog off-leash area, it is frustrating working with the gas company, but at least they are responding now. They're coming up with some really very minor clarifications, which we're modifying the drawings. The fact that they're responding, I think we're getting towards the end, hopefully. We're also working on the annual and 5-year and master plans. We're working on the transition study, and transition is still scheduled for the end of this year. We've completed a cost estimate for the ballroom expansion for storage, and we call it a sink area, but it's small facilities for when outside caterers come in. So they will need a sink and not a kitchen, but some kind of minor catering services. We're developing a cost estimate for an outside entertainment area. We're still meeting with solar electric and solar thermal companies to see whether there are potential economic benefits. We're developing a plan for digitization of all construction drawings. And we did a little bit of assistance with a couple of small proposals for the library and the putting green. And hopefully a new committee member, Philip Westbrook, has completed his probation period. I'm hoping he'll be signed off, approved. He comes with a very suitable background. Our next meeting is Thursday the 28th at 9 a.m. Rec Centre North conference room. It's open to everybody. You're welcome to attend. Thank you.
I'm going to make a motion that Phil Westbrook be on the Community Planning and Transition Committee.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that Phil Westbrook be placed on the CP&T committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
Thank you all. Next is the Emergency Preparedness Committee.
Well, I missed last month because I was sick in the hospital, but I'm back. For this month, we're looking into doing a little spring cleaning. We're going to try to go through our first aid supplies and see what's good and what's bad. Make some room. And I'll be contacting Stacy Kelly from EMD about possibly speaking in the next month or two at a program with safety that we'll have for the residents. We're trying to, I had about 3 people that came to the committee, the committee interest meeting, and I have to cut in contact with them to see if they're interested. And also I have to work to try to solidify our bonds with the radio club, to make sure that if we have problems in a disaster, that we know we can count on them, which we was already thinking about it, but I kind of want to make something a little more, like an MOU or something a little more formal. Anyway, our next meeting is next Tuesday at RCN at 10 a.m. Come out and see us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Next is the Facilities Committee. Bruce.
Good afternoon. The push bar mechanism on the interior sump pool has been replaced, and also within the next week, the ADA automatic door openers for the restrooms at the Courtsville Summit should be finished being installed. We're also currently working on the replacement of the floor at the aerobic spa. We're kind of deciding at the moment what floor is best going to suit, so we're talking to some of the groups to make sure we get the proper flooring in there that works for them well. We also have a request to approve Gino D'Amico as a new member of the Facilities Committee. We meet on the second Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. And we do have currently another position open for our committee for anyone interested in serving the committee. Thank you.
Need a motion to approve Gino D'Amico as a new member of the Facilities Committee.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Gino D'Amico as a new member of the Facilities Committee. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is the Finance Committee. Barry.
I see you're missing my co-chair right there, Claudia Rosie.
We'll delegate Claudia on the next one.
She's definitely on there. January financials. Tough to make a big prediction on where we are. It's 1 month's worth of data. But it's a good month because we're ahead. We're on budget, on target. I feel good. We had our increase in our HOA fee, and it seems to be working. But we're not going to know until you get out a quarter or half of the year. I think the note on this one that I want to share with everybody is, and somebody asked me about this probably about 2 months ago, is how we are sitting with people who are behind or arrears with their HOA dues. If you look up there, we have a 0.51%. It represents 9 homeowners. It's extremely low. These are people that have a greater amount than $1,000 owed to us. Overall, we only have a 0.87 in the whole community. Less than 20 homeowners that are behind. The ones that are in that second echelon are probably just late on a payment, or maybe 2 months, but they're under $1,000. This is a really good sign for the community and also for the work that's done by our staff on the follow-up and making sure that we get our money, remind people if they're away on vacation and forget to do it. So a real big tribute. I read, if you go in and go online and Google homeowners assessments and take a look at what the average is in California, about 45 to 50% of the homeowners association have owners that are behind. So that would be, if it was in our place, it would be 800 or 900 homes. We don't have that. We have less than 20. Good work from the owners, good work from our management team. The second article that we published in the Breeze Finance Committee is in this current issue of the Breeze, and that involves looking at the capital reserve process and getting an understanding of what is the reserve versus what is the operational budget. So we've just concluded that 2-part series. One was operational budget, our day in and day out expenses in running this phenomenal operation we have and keeping it up to standard. The other is the reserve, which is important for replacing things as they get old and worn out. We have one opening right now on the Finance Committee, and I say come to a meeting, be part of it. People talk about the finances and want to understand, come and be a part of it. That's how you even know more about what's going on. Our next meeting is March 22nd, 1 p.m. at the RCN. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Next is the Landscape Committee. Scott.
Hey, you know, it's good. A lot of the plants are dormant, but the Landscape Committee is not dormant. We're still working hard. A little frosty on some of the walks, but we're still doing it. So, speaking of frost, if you remember last year, we had lots of frost damage everywhere at the Four Seasons. This year hasn't been as bad, but I know multiple homeowners have requested, could you cut off the dead stuff? And the reason that we don't cut off the dead stuff yet is because there's still a threat of frost, and it helps protect the plants. So once the damage, once we're out of that risk, then the contractor can take care of that. Speaking of weather things, a lot of rain lately, no doubt, and so the weeds are growing like weeds. And so it's also thrown the contractors off a little bit in that it's interrupting their fertilization and weed control program because they need to make sure that everything can get washed away. So be patient with them. They're on it. They know the problem. We've been doing some turnover walks in the newest areas, and for those of you who don't know what that is, we have all the interested parties. We have First Services, CAHO, the Landscape Committee, and in this case it would be Park West, and we look at what the builder has put in to make sure the irrigation is functional, it's what was on the plan, and the plants are in good health as was on the plan. So that's what we do. So we're doing those in low sections as the newest area gets turned over. The sprinkler systems will be going on more frequently once it starts to get warmer. So if you're one of those people who walks your dog or walks yourself, and you see a problem with the irrigation, could you please let someone in the office or the First Services know? We need more eyes because we can lose lots of water just from the leak, you know, the geysers that you see that no one's, you always think someone else told someone, but they don't always. And frequently they're at night, and so if you let them in the morning, that would be great. We're happy to be able to recommend for approval Kurt Fryer, who has been working with us, and is going to be a great addition to the committee. So hopefully you'll approve him today. And if you think, gosh, I wish I could be on the landscape committee, you know you could. Come to a meeting during the monthly thing, or if you want to come on a walk on Friday morning, that's the gig opens. Thank you.
Wait. You have a member? Are you proposing any place?
Yes.
Okay.
I recommend that we approve Kurt Fairmouth for the committee, landscaping committee.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to add Kurt Fairmouth to the landscape committee. All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Next is Rules and Regulations Committee.
We continue to review the clubs, groups, and class community guidelines, pages 4, 5, and 6, as needed with Cindy Graves, our activity director. We're going to be implementing guidelines for the fall and spring boutiques. And because of issues with caretakers wanting to use our facilities and inappropriately, we will be reviewing or creating guidelines for caretakers. We need approximately 170 more ballots for the CCRs before the inspectors of election can open the envelopes. And please encourage all of your neighbors to vote. A lot of people feel that the deadline was back in December and they've tossed the ballot out. Please encourage them to come down to the lodge and obtain another ballot. We do meet the second Tuesday of every month at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we do have a need for new committee members who are committed to a term of 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Next is the Safety Committee.
Thank you. Well, thank you to Eric and all of you that know about slowing down. Thank you for reminding people about that. But we want to talk this time about yield, the yield signs. And unfortunately, there are quite a few people that are coming down 4 seasons here, and they are not yielding to the traffic in the circle. So if that continues, the Snow Safety Committee is looking at perhaps putting another stop sign here, because we have had near misses on the traffic coming down for a season. So maybe you're not seeing the people in the roundabout, maybe people are not really aware of what you're supposed to do with the inner roundabout. But in order to be proactive, and not because our community has grown so much and you have so many cars, it doesn't take but a minute to just stop and look. So please, talk to everyone, obey the yield signs so that we don't have any more stop signs. All right, the second thing that we want to do is say that we have had our AED training before, but we will be having another AED training sometime, probably in June, that will be working in with our neighborhood watch as well. So that is it. We basically meet the first Tuesday of each month at 10 o'clock in the morning in the RCN. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Next is the social committee.
I'll do it later.
Yeah, all right, which we covered this in the executive. So next is the technical operations board. And the deputy community ambassadors. And that's what it is.
Okay. All right. Because this is such a great community, we had a fundraiser for Mila, who is the dog, the Omar Cooley's dog, and you can see her here. She has come to our neighborhood watch meeting, and we had Mike Corbett and Felicia Hamid, who were actually doing a lot of the fundraising in front. So thank you for the community for really helping us out with this. We had a special presentation at the city council meeting and gave them a check for $1,700. That will all go toward the upkeep of Mila. And even though Mila is still kind of a little puppy and very rambunctious, she is actually being used all over the state because of, I guess, the kind of nose that she has. But thank you so very much. And I also want to say thank you to Jerry Monahan, who is our liaison in safety, as well as he is on our steering committee for Neighborhood Watch, and he has been very proactive and supportive with us. So thank you so much, and anyone that would like to go tonight, the Synergy Historical Society is having the mayor as well as the city manager to talk about the history of Beaumont. So if you're able to go, it will be at the Women's Club there on 6th Street. If not, I'll report on it next. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. That is the executive.
Now it's me. Can we switch back the slide, Nellie, to social committee real quick? Just want to let you guys know that the tickets for the Springtime Fashion Show are going to be on Monday, April 8th at 9 a.m. If you would like to come in and be put on a waiting list, you don't have to sit there the whole time. You can just put your name down and go have breakfast in the bistro or go back and walk the dog and come back and get in line for your ticket sale. It's going to be really a neat fashion show this year. Always is. But this one's going to be especially great. We have Coldwater Creek is doing our models, dressing our models with inventory. So come on down. I think you guys will have a good time with it. So there you go.
Cindy.
Yes.
How much are tickets?
Where are you? What?
How much are tickets?
I want to say 30. Let's say 30. We'll check the tickets, but I'm pretty sure it's 30. 30 each. Okay? 29. Next, or 29, yeah. Next, I want to let you guys know about the Spring Boutique. Barbara made mention of that. That is going to be neat. That's our very first time to do a Spring Boutique. So we will get an opportunity to be able to see all kinds of neat homemade stuff for Easter and Passover and summer stuff. All kinds of neat things that we often miss out on when we only have our Harvest Craft Fair. So be sure to do it. It's always a packed house. We have over like 60 vendors, right? 62 vendors, resident crafters, who will all be in here. It's always a blast, and if you ever need unique gift items that nobody else will be receiving, you can buy them and have a special gift just for your special somebody. That is 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's April 6th, so it's coming right up. And then just to remind you guys, the gates are open, right, for that spring boutique. So come early, get a parking place, because we've got people coming in. And there's going to be prizes all throughout the day as well. So we try to make it as fun as possible. Clubs, groups, and classes. Guess what? We're having another live action packed radio show. And that's going to be fun Friday. That's this Friday. That's tomorrow, isn't it? March 15th at 6 p.m. And it's always fun. You're welcome to bring your dinner in from the bistro or bring your favorite beverages in from home and watch the show. It's always good fun. And there's no price, no cost, of course, to come in and watch that. And then I can't wait for this. This is Saturday. And this is the Tails and Trails Walk for the Animals. That's going to be first thing in the morning. We've got an 8 a.m. pancake breakfast. And the proceeds to that all go to the Ramona Humane Society. And it's going to be a blast. You don't have to have any particular speed that you're doing this with. The tickets for registration are $20. Great cause. If you read my activities director corner in the Breeze this last month, you will know that they set me up with my security guard rabbit, Max, who was a rescue rabbit. So I have absolutely no issues with security at my house now that I've rescued that rabbit. And so you too might benefit from something like that. They will be bringing a few animals from the shelter to adopt out. So you might get that lucky. I don't know if they have any more rentals, but they're great security guys. What else on that? Oh, and everybody gets shirts if you register for that. So come early for that. Get your breakfast, get your strength in, and do your little walk. And you can even bring your own dogs. I don't know how cats are on leashes, but you can take your dogs down there and do a dog walk as well. And there'll be water stations and so forth set up.
Microchipping.
Microchipping too, yeah.
Cats especially, please.
Yeah, that's right. And if you have any questions about chipping or any of that stuff, Martha can lead you to the right sources. How about that, Martha? And then, breaking news, kind of sad breaking news, kind of not. I have been super excited about the big travel expo that we have been advertising. That was due to be happening on Saturday, March 23rd. Is that right? Oh no, there's a meeting on Saturday, March 23rd. This was the one that was going to be on March 22nd, remember? Here. We have had to postpone that due to some unforeseen circumstances. So it's actually going to be held on Tuesday, August 13th. And that'll be in the ballroom, big giant deal. And in August, we will get all of the last of the year massive deals. So for cruises for the end of the year, excursions, and that kind of thing. So come on down, see what kind of packages are going to be available, and they'll even have a bunch of packages for 2020 as well. So make a note of that. Sorry to tell you that. And that's it. I'm done.
Next on the agenda is the management report from 68 to 75, which we track 16 work orders for them and 18 large projects. Communications on 76, just for board information. Unless there are any questions. Otherwise, we'll move on into unfinished business. First on the agenda for that is the Exhibit F. That was brought forth from the ad hoc Exhibit F committee. It's been out for homeowner comment for almost 2 months now. And let's see, we had 179 comments in agreement and 18 in disagreement. would be the new standard.
I'd like to make a motion to replace the current Exhibit F, the architectural guidelines passed by the board in 2010, with a current and updated Exhibit F, now known as the planting guidelines for residential properties that contain any slope greater than 10 feet in vertical height in the rear yard, passed unanimously by the ad hoc Exhibit F committee in December 2018.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the revision to Exhibit F. And is there any discussion that the board would like to have prior to voting? All right, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to note a vote of thanks to all of those who participated in a very extensive and frustrating effort. I think the result reflects the amount of effort that everybody put in.
Okay.
Good job.
Next is the putting green revised guidelines on pages 84 through 92. I would remove or add the word chipping, so the chipping would not be allowed on the putting green, which currently you could do. It also revise the guests, where it would now say during non-scheduled group activity time, a resident may have guests of all ages. A resident must remain with guests at all times while using the putting green.
I'll make a motion that we approve the guidelines for the putting green to include no chipping, etc., and no underage residents or guests.
Well, the revised guidelines would allow underage guests.
Really? Is this a two-part then?
You can make it a two-part.
I think it should be two-part because one very definitely had to support, the other one did not, of the people here.
Let's do the chipping one first.
I'll make a motion that we approve the guidelines submitted by the Rules and Regulation Committee, that we have no chipping, etc.
Prohibits chipping.
That prohibits chipping, right.
I'll say.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve one aspect of the changes to the putting green, which is to allow chipping, or to allow chipping.
So not allow chipping.
Do not allow chipping, and do not allow children.
Well, no, the motion is
That's
just,
the second
just to
Oh, okay, which one are we voting on?
The chipping.
Would to not allow chipping on the putting green.
Prohibit chipping.
Any discussion?
We apologize for the confusion. It has to be the two motions.
I would like to discuss it a bit. We had a rules change sent out, and about 150 people responded, which means out of 2,600 homeowners, 4 to 5% cared to vote. And when I look at the answers, some of them were, I don't know what chipping is. Some of them were, children are allowed in the courts, which is wrong because they are. So I don't personally have enough information here that I can make a vote on what the totality of the association wants. You know, if I ask people, should we allow children to play on the basketball courts, I could probably get 100 people say no, they shouldn't. But they have been since the day we opened up. So I think if we're going to send out a questionnaire to the people to get good information back, we need to put in the questionnaire, first of all, do you play on the putting green? Because if they don't play on the putting green, they still have a vote, but I don't think it weighs as heavily obviously, the people from the putting green, who use the putting green, are the ones that came to the rules and regs and asked for the change. But I don't have the indication from looking at the responses that came in that they voted. I mean, if they were the ones who want to have grandchildren there, you would think we would have more than just, 43 people say yes, because I believe there's over 100 who play on there. So, you know, I don't have enough information that I feel I could meaningfully vote on it.
Then the motion that's up right now only includes chipping. It doesn't only includes chipping. We haven't done a motion for children.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
but even on chipping, the people who answered didn't know what chipping was.
Yeah, but I think chipping is a common sense thing. We shouldn't allow chipping on a green. I mean, all it's going to do is tear up the green and cost us money.
Well, right now,
liability issue.
Yeah, and everything. I think chipping is an easy one.
Right now, the people who from the women's golf team have come to CP&T, and they want to double the size of the area. I don't know if they double it, where they would chip from, because if you look at the existing green and the proposed expansion, there's no area that they could reasonably chip from. And we haven't gone out there and marked it out. And I don't think you want chipping on the green itself.
Exactly.
Again, I go back to, I don't think we have enough information to really understand what it is they want to do. Because you don't want them chipping from 20 feet away or from 30 feet away. We haven't marked out an area and say, this is an area where chipping is acceptable.
Chipping at all.
No chipping. We just need more research behind this proposal before we act on it, I think.
I think personally, I had enough information reading the responses from the people on the review they had. I'd like to stand with the motion that's in place and call for the vote.
One more question. We don't have a designated chipping area now, do we?
No, we do not.
So if we don't have a designated chipping area, right now at this point in time, it should be prohibited from chipping from anywhere out there.
That's call for the vote. Yeah.
Okay, call for a vote. All those in favor of allowing chipping?
No,
not allowing chipping.
Prohibiting chipping.
Okay, all those in favor of not allowing chipping?
Aye.
Motion carries.
So the second motion item was regarding the under 18 guests on the putting green, which was brought forth from the Ladies Putters group.
Right. And on this one, it looks like when it went out, suggesting a change allowing all ages to play, the return was 43 people in agreement with allowing everybody, regardless of age, to play, and 91 were against. So it appears to me that twice as many people would prefer not to have underage guests playing on the putting green. Is that correct?
That's correct, but again, to what Lynn was speaking to a moment ago, quite a few of the actual comments that came back were just they were confused that children aren't allowed there at all, which children are, and that there were also comments just overall that children shouldn't be allowed except for at the lodge, and they can't be at the summit, which again is not factual. So if the board would like more information from a wider section of the population here, we could send out another questionnaire through SurveyMonkey and get a more detailed response and have more pertinent information and hold this over until the next meeting.
Do we have in this community a definition of underage?
Under 18.
Under 18?
Do we have a second to the motion?
Well, there is no motion.
There's no motion. Nobody had a motion yet.
No, there was no motion.
We discussed holding it over for more input.
Barbara Miller would like to talk. Is she allowed?
Yes.
Will you allow her to speak?
Could we ask a question to the
Sure.
audience? Barbara?
Judy Irving is the leader of the putting green. When she approached the Rules and Reg Committee, I was under the impression that she had taken a poll of all of her putting green ladies to see what their decision was. In talking with some of the ladies who are involved with the putting green, they were not approached. And I think Judy, at the time when they wanted the children during the holidays to be able to participate in many activities, I think she was trying to be, in my opinion, compliant and trying to go with the flow to let children come and use the putting green. I have since, in talking with people, feel that they still really do not want children under the age of 18 using the putting green. And I think that is what the resident response reflects.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Barbara. I'll go ahead and make the motion that the use of the putting green will be restricted to anyone under the age of 18 years old.
Well, it'll just remain the same, right?
Remain the same. No change in the rule, stays the same.
We don't need a motion then.
Yeah, do we even need a motion?
I think it'd be cleaner to have a motion.
Cleaner with a motion, so it's a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? It's been moved and seconded.
Lynn,
Oh.
when you use underage, is it possible for this to maybe lower it to 16 instead of 18, or not?
I don't think.
Or do you want to keep it consistent with 18?
Yeah, it should be
Okay.
consistent.
Let's keep it consistent with 18.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion to not change the age limitations for the putting green, is that okay?
That's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up is new business, starting on page 93. It's a proposal from the Landscape Committee to change out some plant material at the corner of Green Creek Trail and Pipe Springs. They're going to repurpose on-site plant material to help keep costs down. Total cost for the project is $1,447.50.
I make the motion that we approve the $1,447.50 expenditure for landscaping at the intersection specified.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the recommendation from the Landscape Committee to remove, let's see, to put up a root barrier around the planter bed.
No, that's the next one. This one is.
Oh.
This
It's a
is
plant
Green Creek.
installation.
Plant installation,
Yes.
okay. It's been moved and seconded then to, why don't I have the, here we go. Now we got it.
It's on 93.
To change the plant material at the corner of Green Creek and Pipe Springs. That's an area that floods at the bottom, as I recall. Any discussion? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is a proposal again from the Landscape Committee to install a bio root barrier here at the lodge, both in the front of the lodge and in the back, to help the planters maintain their structural integrity from the pepper trees that are installed there. Total cost for the project is $3,552.40.
I'll make a motion to install a bio barrier around the perimeter of the planter beds located at the large that have pepper trees in them, thus preventing future structural damage not to exceed $3,552.40.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the installation of a bio root barrier around the pepper trees. Any discussion? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on pages 98 through 102 is a proposal from the Landscape Committee to do some sprucing up of the areas at the courts. Total cost is $3,280.
I'll make the motion that we expend $3,280 for the installation of specified ground cover, rows and county Easter hat in selected areas to alleviate unsightly ground and provide a more aesthetically pleasing environment for all who enjoy our courts.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to install rows and cotton Easter ground cover in selected areas around the courts. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is a request from the Communications Board to help drive traffic to the website. Just like they have a joke of the month, they're going to hide either a picture of the Four Seasons logo or maybe a picture of Larry Workman's face somewhere that people have to go find and prove that they found it. Total cost for this project for this year is $600.
I'll make a motion that we accept make a motion to approve the Communication Board request for $600 to be used for finding the joke, etc.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve an allocation of $600 for the Communications Board to improve usage of the website. Discussion? Would we be able to, you think, get a win-win if we made the contributions in the form of vouchers for the salon or Smitty's?
Right now they are.
Yeah, the joke of the month winners have vouchers, but they win vouchers to Smitty's.
Right.
So
we're already doing that with the greens. So that would probably.
So these would be vouchers?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next are the financial reports from January. These were already approved by Jolene and Ed at the last Finance Committee meeting. This is to approve that as well for a new civil code. Or actually to ratify their approval.
Do we have to do anything?
You would need a motion and a second to ratify their approval.
Make a motion to ratify the approval of Ed Paulus and Jolene Cooley, that they went over the financial report and approved it.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the analysis of the financial report. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it for new business. The next meeting will be Thursday, April 11th here in the ballroom at 1 p.m.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned.